all the spirit of Final Fantasy VII, the editing, the music, everything is coming together. On my Final Fantasy cinematic journey, we've come at last to what I predict will be the best Final Fantasy game ever. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Those destined for rebirth. A new trailer as we count down to the game. If you've been enjoying our time together, please consider watching some of the other videos that we've covered on this channel, including my deep dive into Rebirth theories and lore with the legendary Sleepy. Let us begin. Final Fantasy lore masters, join me in battle once again. Nibelheim. It's Nibelheim incident. That's one of the buildings that he destroys.
What happened to this place?
It was Sephiroth.
It can't be. Did you hear that sound effect? That was the cries of the planet.
Restarted and rule over the planet.
You coming?
Way ahead of you.
Amazing. Yes, the theme, battle theme.
We have to help them.
Those who fight. Red.
Let's get to work.
The Midgard's Olive.
You are truly a model soldier.
Tifa!
We can handle this. I will reclaim our world.
It's the iconic scene. Oh, amazing. That was so packed to the brim every single second with amazing references and shots. We got a lot to talk about and break down. This is incredible. Like I said, if you're enjoying our time together, make sure to subscribe, hop into our Discord. We have a teaming Final Fantasy, Warcraft community, everything. It's going to be so much fun, guys, as we are going to play Rebirth live here on YouTube. You're going to want to subscribe to get those notifications so you don't miss it. Let's break this down. There's so much to look at. Oh my goodness gracious. I love this. I'm so happy that they didn't spoil anything, right? Like, we know this is happening. They didn't spoil anything. The new mystery stuff, it was just like super full of energy and the spirit of Final Fantasy VII. And I'll tell you why as we watch. Just full of the spirit. And look at this. They really nailed this shot. They really nailed this shot. I mean, can we just talk about the biggest improvement here for me besides the model improvements, like the hair and everything, and sort of the clothing simulation, has been the lighting. Look at the beautiful lighting here. You can see like the sort of subtleties and the embers reflecting off of them and everything. This is high level stuff. I'm so impressed. Now this has to be one of the townspeople that he destroys in Nibelheim. Yeah, I remember in the old game, you know, his Lego man goes to his head. So I wonder how he's gonna get it this time. And that was actually really, really clever. And I think a lot of people say, oh, you know, show violence and stuff. This is great, man. The sound effect, the cutaway to the reaction. Look at young Cloud, you know, his innocence being lost. It's a much more powerful thing to show than the actual strike. Great sound design. You see him cringe, shock of his hero doing this, Sephiroth. Amazing. Really, really well done. Let's keep going. And this is, I like how it's this sort of bombastic, like momentous version of Let the Battles Begin. Amazing.
What happened?
Now this, okay, so we're going to talk shot by shot here. This is what looks to be the disaster that happened with the tornadoes. Same as this, but the cool thing is this kind of echoes what happens at the ending, right? So it's cool that there's this sort of cross-referential visual language. It's like, wait, this is almost like something Advent Children looking back. Wait, what? But then of course there's this other angle, right? This other view of what's going on in Midgar on the highway and stuff. So I think that is going to be sort of a cool reference to something that hasn't happened yet. But they're going to play with that. They're going to play with our expectations for people who played the old game. Now, this, I think, is actually the CG recap. Okay, never mind. We have the Shinra news station here, which is really cool. So this is footage from what happened. And, of course, it's like, you know, body cam footage from that Shinra soldier, which is really cool. It's really cool to have this sort of like found footage, you know, on the news. And the camera cuts out right there. Very clever. This shot, of course, is the CG retelling. And I think what's going to happen here is this is probably the first thing we see with Zack in the game.
It was Sephiroth.
Now, I said this as I was watching it. Listen right here. The sound design is fantastic. This is a... I actually think that might be a Cry of the Planet. I think that might be the sound design they chose for it. And if so, it's perfect. I mean, listen to this.
It can't be.
So good.
He wants to finish with
Yeah. It's just a chilling shot, too. They nailed this sort of feeling with Sephiroth, even visually. And I think Tyler does a great job with the voice as well. The sort of inviting, welcoming, soothing voice, but is like such a dangerous, scary being. Yeah.
It can't be.
And then there's this shot here, which is just so cool.
he wants to finish
And then I love this line. What does he say?
what he started and rule over the planet. What he started.
He wants to
Rule-
finish.
He wants to finish what he started and rule over the planet.
Just awesome way to just lay down like what is the conflict of this game. Boom. This trailer is perfectly edited. It's incredibly done. And to show this shot to like a new player, finish what he started, rule over the planet,
Finish what he started.
and we see like soldiers marching and stuff. You can see the high wind in the background. It's awesome. Sid's ship, and it's just like, oh my goodness. To a new player, this would be like, oh, those must be like Sephiroth's legions or something, which is cool because it's not quite that at all. But
and rule over the planet.
I mean, look at the lighting again. Look, you have literal bokeh in the background here. This beautiful, beautiful shallow depth of field, and we call bokeh how stuff is out of focus and gets this beautiful kind of buttery effect in the background. I mean, it looks just photoreal at this point, the lighting. And even the way that his hair slowly becomes out of focus. So soft and everything. I think that is one of the huge improvements in this game over Remake, is even just the way that the sophistication of the glass is behaving and everything. Like, it looks like real glass. And I mean lenses by that. It's crazy.
You coming?
Way ahead of ya.
It's just a fantastic edit. Like, shout out to the team for this, who edited this, because they're taking scenes and lines from different scenes to create the sort of dialogue between the characters. Like, it's clearly different scenes, but we have this great thing. And this is actually the haunted mansion in Gold Saucer in the background. See that? That's a pretty cool thing.
Way ahead of ya.
And then, of course, this is Yuffie in some other place. It's great. And then, of course, Hamaguchi has come out and said really one of the themes of this game is going to be the connection between the characters that you build as you play the game. So what better way to show that than the synergy attacks? And we go right to this one, I think was called like Fireworks or something. And then we have Barrett blasting.
To help them.
Tifa, just awesome martial arts stance. I really like the shot too, which is cool because this is actually the limit break shot, typically, where she charges up and then poof, it'll say the limit break on the screen. They actually took that and made it, because it's so cinematic, why not use it? Awesome. Red just looking ferocious. I think he's going to be, probably to new players, like one of the most surprise, charming characters. Because in the first one, you don't get too much about him besides he just kind of knows a lot about the planet, and he's kind of like, very wise and everything. It's going to be fun to see his personality for new players, especially.
Let's get to work.
Now, this is of course the swamp on the way to the Mithril mine, and you can see here the Zalem. Absolutely iconic. And I was just thinking about this shot right here. Confirmed you can fight it. So what I had said years ago, my theory on this should be that you do a boss fight with the Zalem, but it's more like you're trying to escape and it's chasing you through the swamp, because that's the feeling we all had as kids, right? You try to go through, it's chasing after me, right? So to kind of make that and revive that feeling, or rebirth that feeling in this modern setting, have that, it's like a cinematic chase through it, and you have to like fight as you're running away, and it just shows how powerful the Zalem is. You're not going to beat it. You're not going to beat it. Even the whole party is really strong, and it's just so much stronger. And then at the end, you see how strong Sephiroth is. So it's like oh no, the power scaling is demonstrated there, and I think it would be so clever. So that was my theory a couple of years ago on how they should do this, or I guess my idea, not a theory. It could be what's happening here, and I think that would be so much fun.
You are truly a model soldier.
Just such great editing. And what's something to note here is that they're using sound effects kind of outside of the game capture and they're using kinetic typography or just like, you know, text animation, boom, to just slam it on screen and add in the cutting sound of the Buster Sword. And it just is such a visceral experience. And like I said, this trailer is amazing to me because it doesn't spoil anything. Like I can see what these scenes are from playing the original and loving the lore so much, and you can glean a lot from it as a super fan. But there's no big drops, there's no insane reveals or kind of like spoiling the big twists of the game. It's just an awesome trailer, and it captures the spirit of the game so well. It's got one of the most iconic songs in the game. Oh. Now, what in the world is that? Now, looking at the setting, I mean, it looks like, oh, you know what it is? It looks like a weapon. So there might be new weapons in the game. That's going to be my prediction for this one. New weapons. Looking at the setting, I mean, it could be Cosmo Canyon because it's got this kind of like dilapidated mechanical look to it. It could be Gongaga. Me? It could be anything, but it could be even near Temple of the Ancients, but we'll have to see what happens there. It's like this big whale. And I mean, shout out to Cody. Listen to this delivery. Gave me chills. Gave me chills, man. That was awesome. I had to say, scream along with him. Do not fear.
We can handle this.
I mean, that's just right out of Advent Children. Look at this shot of Barrett. Right? It's right out of Advent Children, man. That's what I love, sort of the visual line. And that's what's so beautiful about having Nomura be the visionary of Final Fantasy VII. You know, from back in the day, working with Nojima, working with Sakaguchi, up until this point where, you know, he makes Advent Children, he goes and tweaks everything, and then, you know, he's able to kind of pull on the visual language that they've established through the legacy of this compilation. This shot is in Advent Children. Like, I'm pretty sure you have Barrett shooting like that as Red runs up, and it's in the same angle, the same composition and everything, and it's just like, whoa, same pose, you know. And it's nostalgic for Advent Children, which is so funny to say, right? Which is also nostalgic for the OG game and everything. It's just like, oh man, the layers to all this are amazing.
I will reclaim our world.
And that's it, man. That's the iconic scene, and we actually get one shot from this iconic scene. Something I am probably the most excited to hear, or one of the most. There's too much to be excited about, honestly, at this point. But one of the things I was most excited is we heard from Hamaguchi, I believe, and Nomura that they are going to be expanding, I think is the word they used, or, you know, deeper exploration of Sephiroth's sort of fall, if you will. And I think it's going to be so cool. And that was a huge thing for me, because in the original, it's great, of course. But in the modern game with this level of human performance and everything, I feel it'd be a little bit rushed if they only covered those like short scenes from the original on what happens to Sephiroth. So hearing that they're going to be exploring it deeper, even just sort of the humanity of it is how they worded it, and people are going to be able to sort of relate to Sephiroth more. That is very exciting. So to get a little preview of that scene and that performance is very, very exciting.
I will reclaim our world.
And he sounds great. I love, he sounds very earnest and also very like unhinged. And I think it's great. And I also love how they don't show who he's talking to you. Those who played the original know, of course. And look at this. Look at this look on Cloud. This is actually not in that setting. This would be on the ship, which I believe they've actually turned kind of into a cruise ship on the way to Costa del Sol, which is going to be another amazing section of the game. But yeah, what a great shot. Just punch into his extreme close-up. Now, this next shot I really like. How cool is that? How cool is that? And wait a second now. Are we on Edge of Creation right here? What in the world is that? So I'm trying to look where we are. Are we on Edge of Creation? Ooh, this is big. Now, of course, the final shot. This is, as far as I can figure out, a CG retelling that is going to be like the recap of the first game. That's my prediction on it. They released this thing with Red narrating it a couple months ago. I don't think that was the official recap that's going to be in the game. Unclear, though. The question remains, we've seen like a shot of Aerith and a couple other shots that are clearly from the ending of the first game, but CG. This is kind of where my theory is going. This will be, in fact, a CG retelling a la Advent Children, Marlene talking. It's going to be similar to that. So that's my theory on how they should do it. I don't know where else this could go. This is clearly from the end of the first game, but it's CG'd. So I think it's going to be fantastic. Yeah. Oh, man, it looks so great. The cover, too. The cover is fantastic. Awesome. Oh, and they're showing the that's the new PlayStation model, right? Yeah, PS5 Slim. That's cool. When we didn't miss any secrets at the end, but yeah, just fantastically done. I would say this is probably one of the best trailers they've ever done. Whereas the last one was very personal. It was very emotional, focusing on the character connections and like hinting on, you know, sort of the drama that could take place in the game. You had the amazing theme song reveal by Nobuo. Loved it. This one is just like the spirit of the game. And like if you had shown this to us back in, you know, 2015 or whatever when it was first revealed at E3, oh man, we would have lost our minds for sure. But I think it's fantastic. This is definitely one of my favorites. And I would say the main strengths are just the editing. So cleverly patched together. I mean, this is a minute-long trailer, which it's not, because the title card is like 10 seconds. And then the intro is a couple seconds. So, I mean, it's closer to 45 seconds of just pure awesomeness. And I mean, the text, like great text use too. Look at this. Look at it one more time.
We have to help them.
And the theme song.
Let's get to work.
You are truly a model soldier.
Oh, too good.
We can handle this.
It's just like,
I will reclaim. You are
it's just
truly a model
everything coming together. Like all the sort of, all the spirit of Final Fantasy VII, the editing, the music, everything is coming together. So good. And I've said this before, the strength of Final Fantasy VII, why it is the best Final Fantasy for so many people, is the characters. It has probably the strongest like full cast of characters in Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy X is, I think, the better story, and a lot of people agree with me on that. Like, it's just the best story ever put to gaming, I think, Final Fantasy X. But 7, the characters are just so relatable, so interesting, so multi-dimensional, and so like they work so well together. Everybody, all the sort of like relationships together and everything, that you know, that's what gets you so interested in 7. So I think they did a really good job in this trailer, as well as like showing all the awesome characters. Me and Aaliyah talk about this a lot, how this sort of character design of them is so distinguishable, so easily recognizable, so iconic. The silhouettes are there because, you know, they had to do them for Lego people back in the day, essentially. They had to be instantly recognizable, super simple, but also just perfect colors. Oh man, and look at that, it's so cool to see the Highwind.
And rule over the
Great shot of it there too, actually, right at the end. Yeah, full angle Highwind. I can't wait, man. We're gonna be wandering around the entire world. It's so cool. But anyways, that's gonna be my thoughts for now, guys. Check out the rest of our videos that we've done, a ton on FF7, including my talk with Sleep Easy, which was so much fun. Tons of theories, and we predicted the game, what's gonna happen at the ending. That was so much fun. But also, like I said, hop into Discord if you want to join our huge community. We're going to be playing this together here on YouTube. Cannot wait to share it with you guys. And also, click that join button if you want to choose videos for me to react to and make the content for the channel. So thank you, everybody, for being here. Have a lovely day. Cannot wait for Rebirth. I think my hype is completely maxed out now. All right, guys. Have a great day.